Good afternoon, Fruition. How's everyone doing? This has been a fantastic conference. Chef Taylor and the team, it's phenomenal, to say the least. The people who have worked hard, the planning staff, fantastic. Are you guys getting a lot out of it? That's what I want to talk about. Keep that energy up high for me because I know it's right after lunch, and we want you all to stay awake, okay? I'm going to tell you about a young entrepreneur, and we're going to call her, for purposes of the story, Gail. Gail went to a wholesale club, like a Costco or a Sam's Club, with her mother and two siblings. They went to Costco one day, and it wasn't just an ordinary Costco shopping day. At Costco this day, their mom went and bought cookies, candy bars, bubble gum, and soda pops. Their mother was something going wrong with their mom? Why are we buying all these snacks? Well, the mother got home and told Gail and her siblings, we're opening a storefront. And they put the storefront right on the outside of their home. They lived on a busy road. One of the first things this mother taught these young entrepreneurs is, one, you've got to see your inventory. You've got to price it to make sure you can get a profit and be able to package it so it can sell, put it in a location where you will have buyers, and don't eat your inventory so you can make sure that you can get a return on investment. And so we can keep your candy store in business. Fantastic. First day, Gail and her siblings sold a lot of candy and candy bars. It was a great day. The mother was inside the house cooking food, and the children, Gail and her siblings, were downstairs counting their profits. Wow, maybe we can buy a car with $50, they thought. But it was a great first day. But as they were rejoicing in their first day opening up their storefront, they began to eat some of the candy. Their mother came back and said, wait, she was like an angel investor, essentially. You can't eat your profit. You can't eat your investment or your supply. We have to make sure I can get a return on investment, and we can keep, so we can be able to buy more things at Costco. That day, intentionally or unintentionally, those young children learned a lesson in entrepreneurship. Well, that business stayed open for a while. But that mother, of course, it was their children, so she was lenient with them, could have been very upset. We buy stuff in a business, and you guys eat it all? Similarly, clients come into my office sometimes. Sometimes they're family, sometimes they're not. One business partner goes into a bank account, and I've seen it where funds are depleted. What can we do? We can get an emergency TRO, maybe freeze the bank account, and see what we can do to have an emergency hearing. But partnership agreements are important to be put in place so that businesses are protected. Well, let's go back to Gail. Gail and her family eventually moved to a different neighborhood. It was a quieter neighborhood. It was in a cul-de-sac where only about 2 or 3 or 4 cars would come there on a daily basis. So the candy store wouldn't have been successful there. What could Gail do? Well, the location of where they lived was on a golf course, and it was behind some woods is where their house was located. What would happen is they lived right behind hole number 17. Now, let me tell you about hole number 17. I don't care if you were an amateur golfer or you were Tiger Woods in his prime. That you would swing the ball, swing the golf club, shoop, and magically the ball would drop right behind Gail's house in the woods. The balls would just go there. I mean, you would see golfers looking for their balls in the woods, and it was a complete, everyone lost their ball behind Gail's house in hole 17. So Gail and her siblings began looking for golf balls in the woods. Collecting 1 turned into 5, then into 50, then into hundreds. There were buckets of golf balls. They began to clean them and decided we could sell these golf balls. They went to the bottom of their house, which led almost to the foot of the golf course. Their mother walked them down there and said, don't cross this line. that's where the property for you ends. So they would go and sit. They actually had stairs that they can sit on and sell. And they would shout, golf balls for sale, 50 cents a piece. Golf balls for sale, 50 cents a piece. Golfers would come up right on their property and buy golf balls. They were in business. They had a business again, and guess what? It began to boom. They were in business for a while. Every day they would go out, look for balls, wash them, clean them. Even at first, they had a system where they would call Domino's Pizza or a pizza shop and order a pizza with no money and know that they could sell a bunch of golf balls in 20 minutes and make sure they had enough money for the pizza. They had a whole thing going on. Well, one day, Gail believes that the pro shop must have got word that there was competitors. And the competitors were making it so the pro shop was not being able to sell their used golf balls. Because there was an 8-year-old down the road who was taking them out of business. So they sent someone in a golf cart one day, a mean old lady, and they heard a cart coming. They thought it was another customer. Golf balls for sale, 50 cents a piece. Get off of this property. You can't sell golf balls here. This is a private golf course. The young entrepreneurs were scared, but they were actually on their own property. What was illegal about selling golf balls? Well, in a complaint, we would probably get tortious interference of contracts, soliciting our clients. You would see a number of complaints. But would that have held up? Probably not. Those kids needed legal. They didn't know. An attorney would be able to say, you're on your property line. Maybe you could put a sign up that says golf balls or different things that you could do so it doesn't feel like you're soliciting their clients. But those golfers were willingly coming off the golf course onto their property. The kids didn't know. So they were scared. They began to say, they went back again, golf balls for sale. Oh no, the lady's coming. It would run the opposite direction. She almost single-handedly shut down their business. Also, would it be fair if one of the siblings would go on the golf course and clean the balls while the other sibling was inside watching Animaniacs or another cartoon? And then the other sibling would come the next day and sell all the golf balls by herself. Gail did that and got all the money and didn't share any of it with her siblings who might have found the balls or cleaned the balls. They needed legal to put the guidelines out, even though they're kids. We're 33%, 33%, and 33%. But we all have to do this. Sweat equity, somebody might put money into it, but it's something that those kids just did not know. So that's something that, business owners come into my office all the time. Don't have agreements written out. Well, Gail continued into her entrepreneurship, even started selling the golf balls as she got older on eBay, and kept the entrepreneur spirit going, and eventually, Gail started her own law firm. Well, Gail is actually me. I am Gwen Marie, the founder of GDH Law. Entrepreneurship has been in my blood, as you can tell, since I was a little girl. But what entrepreneurs don't necessarily want to do is spend money on legal. It's expensive. We've all heard stories of people speaking and saying, when you're starting a company, sometimes you're not making any money, you're trying to save and put your coins together and start your business. Man, I don't want to spend on a lawyer. Let me go online on LegalZoom or something like that and see if I can get an online form so I can get a contract. Or let me start my LLC in a package. Well, sometimes I've seen clients come to my office who have started an LLC, but who actually said, yes, but I'm the CEO of my company, and I want to have investors. You, with an LLC, you cannot have it. You're not the CEO, you're a member. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was an LLC. No. And if you want to have investors, yes, I have an investor, I want to invest a certain amount of money, you need to be a corporation. so that they can have equity or different shares in the business. You don't know. Or I've seen other clients who have gotten a form, a non-competing agreement, that wouldn't hold up in the state court of where the company is located. They need it legal. Trying to cut corners and do things on your own, and I get it, because as a business owner, you're trying to save where you can, but you don't want to cut costs when it comes to having an attorney, because I see it time and time again. A client came into my office this week, had a form, and now they're in court. That could have been avoided. Had a contract that just wasn't a contract. Where'd you get this from? Oh, online. I know. I shouldn't have did it. And then now they're coming to me mid-litigation saying, hey, can you help? But it will cost so much more to have a lawyer come in on the back end. It's best to do it on the front end. So I would tell business owners, get your agreements in place. Some of your favorite business owners, like even Disney or Ringling Brothers, who just had their last circus this year, need legal. They're fighting now over dissolution and how the company is going to dissolve or different things like that. And if a company of that magnitude is having just agreements that were not drafted properly or things were not spelled out, what happens if one member no longer wants to be in the company, or we want to take a buyout, or things like that? So it's important to sit down and have a lawyer on your side who can help you on the front end and who you have a relationship with, so that when challenging times come, because they do, and when you're a business owner, things are going to happen. Legal is going to happen, but you have that relationship, so you have somebody that can help protect you against pitfalls. So congratulations to all of you business owners or people who are thinking about doing it. Do it, but have a lawyer that can help you to protect you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gwen.
Oh, thank you.
That's super practical. I have a question. Oh, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
When it comes to these common blind spots that we have, right? A lot of entrepreneurs are the creative types making their idea happen. The idea of picking a lawyer sometimes is intimidating, or as you have mentioned, we don't want to invest in it right away. We're thinking we can save on it, it costs us more in the long term. What are some practical tips on just picking a lawyer?
I'd say talk to people. A warm introduction is good. If you have other business owners, you should have a mentor. If you are or an entrepreneur, ask them, who do they use for their attorney? Ask friends, interview your lawyer. See if you can have a good rapport with them and go from there. And if you don't have that luxury, you can go online. There's, you can check ratings and things like that. And you can sit down and, quite frankly, you can interview your lawyer and see if that's somebody that you would want to work with for your business.
So connect to other entrepreneurs and then do your research, and don't underestimate that connection that you can make with
I would
somebody.
say so, yes.
Right on. With business law being in your background and entrepreneurship being in the family, by the way, were you all aware that, you have a question? Awesome. Are you aware that the two lots presenters are actually siblings?
That's my sister, Faith.
They're sisters. Who wants to interview the parents and find out what are the tips in actually raising entrepreneurs? Yeah, it's incredible. Give it up. You have to tell them that we cheer them on. Yeah. Go ahead. Ask your question.
My question is, when do you think is the best time for a sole proprietor to go incorporated?
I think you should talk to an attorney right away to even make sure that sole proprietorship is the best entity for your business. So I would say as soon as you think if you have an idea, it can't hurt to talk to an attorney to make sure it's done properly.
Oh, okay.
And also, too, they can tell you things like if you incorporate your business, make sure every year you pay your $300 a year. It depends on how much it is in every state, because you could have your company forfeited by not paying your taxes. And then next thing you know, something happens, you have a lawsuit against you, and an entity usually protects you from you personally. Yeah. So you're forfeited, they can actually come after you personally. So things like that, you don't necessarily know, but it's good to have an attorney or counsel to make sure that you stay on the up and up.
Anyone else? This is super valuable. You have a lawyer on the hot seat. Lastly, any money-saving tips with a business law background for entrepreneurship?
Money-saving tips in terms of what?
So since in business law that
Yeah.
you know of, like the common blind spots? You mentioned some in your talk.
Okay, some things that you could do. Well, I don't know. To answer your question, money saving tips you could do. I think if you need a lawyer, sometimes if you can maybe take a stab at a contract, bring it to a lawyer and say, hey, could you review this? And they might tear it all apart, but that could be a little cheaper than starting one from scratch. Things like that.
So go ahead and get started.
You could, yeah, but make sure that you have an attorney to look it over before you go further.
We thank you so much for your time. I know I'm taking your card.
Oh, sure.
Oh, one more question, yes.
So I understand the need for counsel with stuff like that, but if you're just getting started out, what do you do if you're, trying to start your business and basically broke? All your money's going into getting things together to actually start.
I get it, and that's why I said it. No, I get it and actually empathize with you. But what I'm trying to get to, and I hope you guys reiterate the point, it's essentially you got to figure it out. It's when you're starting a business, you got to borrow, steal, whatever, legally, because this is a thing, right? But you got to make sure that, I don't do criminal law, by the way, so I can't help you if you do that. But you got to make sure you have money for that, because I'm telling you, if you don't have money at that point, it could cripple you later by not doing the legal things in the beginning to make sure that you're protected. I've seen it time and time again. And it's like people are really coming, I get it, they're trying to save money, but later they're going to end up paying. And I hate it when that happens. But what are you going to do? It's either that or I've seen businesses literally become ruined over legal issues that just so much could have been avoided.
Because, like, some of the business things you cited, there's you can learn about those things online for various things. How do you balance what you can learn as an entrepreneur, but without being a lawyer?
I mean, just make sure, I can't, you can do it however you want to do it, but I told you, I've seen it where people think they're so knowledgeable. One person came in my office and said, I need to start an S-Class. I said, an S-Class? Isn't that a Mercedes-Benz? I want an S-Class, and I want an S-Class because you don't really know. And I mean, you can't take what you learned online for what somebody has spent years in going to school and specializing in. It's good. And I can, of course I'm a lawyer. She's just saying that because it's business. But no, protect yourself as a business. Get the legal.
Hello, my name's Kyle. I currently run a nonprofit, and I'd love to get your thoughts on how to get pro bono consulting from lawyers. What's the best way to get in contact with them?
There are agencies, usually with this, you said pro bono consulting?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are agencies. Usually the state has each state has agencies, especially for nonprofits, and depending on what you're doing.
Okay.
You can go, depending on your state, they have pro bono resource centers for people just like you. I heard you talk earlier.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen.